Welcome to Step Up to the Sport, a conversation series bringing together the minds of women's baseball and women in baseball. I'm Kate Haines, the moderator of today's conversation and the archivist for the International Women's Baseball Center. Our host today will be IWBC President and Marshall University Women's Sports History Professor, Kat Williams. Today we'll be joined by a panel talking on the organization of girls and women's baseball in Latin America. This panel will include Jose Cano, Manuel Frias, and Luis Lopez. Jose Cano is a former Dominican professional baseball player who pitched briefly in the Major League Baseball for the Houston Astros, spent some time in the Chinese Professional Baseball League, and was a two-time Taiwan Series champion. His son, Robinson Cano, is a second baseman that has spent most of his professional career in New York. And Jose is the current president of the Dominican Girls Baseball League and the manager of the Dominican women's national team. Manuel Frias is currently the secretary of the Caribbean Baseball Confederation and president of the Puerto Plata Baseball Association. He is the former executive director of the Dominican Baseball Federation and the creator of the official logo and regulations of the Dominican Women's Baseball League, in addition to various logos of league teams. In partnership with Luis Lopez and Reales de Managua, Frias is the founder of the Reales de Puerto Plata women's teams. And finally, we'd like to welcome back Luis Lopez, who immigrated to the United States from Nicaragua at the age of 5 with his family and currently resides in San Mateo. After little encouragement from baseball people about his eagerness toward venturing into the women's game, Lopez decided to take on women's baseball anyway. In love with his homeland despite the distance that separates him and being brought up in a culture so different from the Nicaraguan one, Luis founded Reales de Managua in his home country to promote girls and women in baseball. He dreams of the popularization of the sport among the ladies of his country and was inspired by movies like A League of Their Own to build his team. The namesake of his team, Reales, came from the Montreal Royals, which had two of his favorite players, Jackie Robinson and Roberto Clemente, two iconic figures in baseball and in Nicaragua. So welcome, Kat and panelists. It's great to have you here. And Jose is going to join us here in a little bit, hopefully. And I'm going to turn it over to Kat for our conversation today.
Thank you, Kate. We appreciate it, and thank you guys for being here. This is we've talked to Luis before, but it's still a treat. And Manuel, it is an honor to meet you. I am so I am just so in awe of the work that both of you have done in Latin America, and specifically the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua in terms of women and girls in baseball. And so I want to start by thanking you all. We don't, and when I say we, I mean IWBC, but also those of all of us who are advocates for girls and women in baseball. It is important for us to reach out and thank those of you who are doing the things you're doing, because I know it's not easy. And so thank you for that. And thank you for being here with us. We only have, less than an hour, but we could spend days talking about this. First of all, what I think would be a good thing to do is to have each of you sort of just tell us just briefly, just a little bit about, we had that great introduction from Kate, but tell us a little bit about your own personal connection to baseball, because we all know baseball is not just about some game you go out and play. It is a personal thing that we all feel and we all carry with us. And so if you guys could just talk to us a little bit about your own personal connection, your own start in baseball, and then we'll circle back around and talk about you getting into women's baseball. Manuel, you want to talk to us a little bit?
Great. Thank you for the invitation. Hopefully, Luis can help me with the translation.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I began watching baseball since I was a 5-year-old kid. My father told me how to see the game. Never got the chance to play until I was 14 years old. I was a catcher.
Mm.
My first player that I love have to see it was Tony Peña.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Peña was in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. He then went to the St. Louis Cardinals, Boston Red Sox, even the Cleveland Indians. And my father told me, if you want to play baseball, you have to play like the best. You want to play that position, you want to see the best. If you want to see the best, you have to go, you want to see what your country has. And that is the man behind the plate. That's the flag, that's the Dominican flag in that position. And since then, I was a huge Tony Peña fan. So I began playing baseball in the middle of when I was 17 years old. I began working more with my father and forget about baseball. And I told my father a few years later, I was 21, 22 years old. I told my father, man, I will live and work baseball. And I'm going to be a little bit older. So in the meantime, you want to see me working with you, but when you see me turning your back, I will turn the wheels on baseball. And that's what I did. In 2015, I became the media press director of the Tiburones del Norte. That's the Sharks from the North in Puerto Plata. That's a local baseball team that we have here. Since my work in that team, the president of the Dominican Federation at that time, Tito Pereira, called me to work with him in Santo Domingo. And I was thinking about, okay, I will be working in the media press movement in the federation. And then he told me, no, man, you're going to be the director, the executive director. It was okay, my God, that's huge. No.
Yeah.
Well, I began working there, and I have to go back to that time because when I became the director in 2016, when it came up January of the 2017, they came up to the office with a new information, women's baseball.
Yeah.
And I was, oh man, this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
They make a meeting. We all friends around the federation, and Juan Nunez, who is right now the Dominican Federation president, told me, Manuel, we need a logo. We need something to begin with and see what we can go about the league. So I was looking for women's in the baseball. I know, okay, there's nothing in baseball in the Dominican Republic. So let me take a look outside. And then I see the logo on the American girls team or league. And I use the same frame of the logo to make the Dominican logo as an honor.
Okay.
As an honor.
Yeah.
And put the ball inside, put a girls, women's silhouette on the logo. And then that's still the logo until today. They love it.
Great.
We honor the past and we honor the future, not only in the U.S., but coming back in the Dominican Republic. And then, that's how I became, as a little kid, in a brief Sherman Awards, my trajectory in the baseball field. Now I'm with Luis and working on something that I told him in 2017. And I told him, man, when I will get the chance in my city to make a baseball girls team, I will do it. It will make the same name. We'll have the same name that you will have, the name that he has in Nicaragua. And man, are you really? Are you sure? Yo, man, if I told you that I'm going to do it, I will do it.
That's fantastic.
Took some time, but we're working on it.
That's fantastic. And so tell us what city you're talking about, what city you're in.
I live in Puerto Plata. That's the north side of the Dominican Republic.
Okay. And so it's in that city specifically that you're working on putting one of the girls' teams together.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Are they girls or young girls or women? Are they or both?
Well, we have both. I really am so happy because the first day of the practice, a few Saturdays behind, I make an information to around the city that I will have I will begin working with girls and going to practice in the baseball field. And I received 3 girls, young girls, by the age of 13, with one mother. And I was surprised. Really, I was surprised. And now I have the mother working with us as a player because she wants to learn too. And I have the young girls too. So it's really fun right now. I guess we have some good players, but they need some time.
Yeah.
But
of course.
Here in my city, women baseball doesn't exist. That's something to, like I say, joke about. So what we try to do is make it simple. Don't make a huge impact until we have almost 30 girls in the same field.
Right.
Because we want to make sure everyone can see the project that we have. I told to Luis, and I told him, man, what are we going to do here in the Dominican Republic? I guess it's going to be a little bit different because he's in the US, I'm here in the Dominican Republic. I can be in charge of the team. So I make a meeting with a university, a local university, and we make sure that sign a paper, a contract, like we say here. So every girls can play baseball, and then they can go to a scholarship in the university.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And even without any girls, we don't have any. That was last year, I guess in January of last year, before the pandemic. So we make that proposal to the university. They like too much, and they say, okay, we'll make it happen. So we hope.
What is the university, Mema?
They call UTESA. UTESA. UTESA.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And they are waiting to see how many girls and women they can go to the university, right, in the same age.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is.
Those girls are great. They're happy.
That's so. How many girls do you have right now? Just even, that come on even a sporadic basis.
33.
That's amazing. And how long has it taken you to get to that 33?
Really, I can say 15 days.
My God.
2 Saturdays?
Well, that is
2 Saturdays.
That is phenomenal.
2 Saturdays.
I mean, Luis, are you about so excited you can't stand it?
Well, I'm actually I'm very, very impressed from the work that Manuel has been doing in the Dominican Republic. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We always talk about it. He mentioned me, like he said, in 2017. I was just starting with my project,
right,
with Gales from Nicaragua. And he was actually one of the guys that, if you remember the last interview, I talked to about it, how he, hey man, it's going to be hard. I mean, he saw my struggle,
right,
my steps and everything, the process, and how to bring that Reales team to get well known in social media. I mean, you don't think at the moment, I don't know what's gonna happen and what's gonna be, and I those are the kind of people you want to get involved with,
right?
That they want to go ahead and work together. I mean, we're all here for the same purpose,
right?
To have not only the Dominican Republic, but also Nicaragua, to have that national team to be competitive.
Right. Yeah.
And, like everybody sees Japan, USA, they're like, wow, they play so. I mean, we want to get to probably the same or even better.
Of course.
and that's what it comes down to.
Right.
I was reading an article, bringing me back to this picture that I actually have of the 1947-48 of the Nicaraguan national team, which it looked really wow. So I was reading about it, and I found out that they had a Latin league from the Americans, in Spanish, las Americanas, and Cubans, las Cubanas, which was, I guess, they brought the Brooklyn Dodgers to Havana, to Cuba, and they got an exhibition game. And I was like, wow, this is so really interesting. So one of the girls, or actually now it's a lady, because time, was explaining that she was got the opportunity to play here in the United States. She's a resident in Miami, I believe so. So she actually mentioned that there was the league, the first Latin league, which is right now you will consider like a Pan American.
Right. Yeah.
Which you had Venezuela, you had Costa Rica, Nicaragua, USA, Cuba. I was like, wow, so Nicaragua did have that national team.
Yeah, right.
And they played.
Yeah. Well, my second book is about Isabel Lefty Alvarez, who was a Cuban ball player who was there in Havana in 1947 when they came for spring training, and also went on that exhibition tour that you talk about. So she has talked to me on numerous occasions about what a wonderful experience, although she was only 15, so she was a little nervous, right? But it was a wonderful experience to see, as she said, people like me playing baseball, and it was, first of all, women, but it was also Latin American women. And so, we all need that, right? Girls need to see women playing, and African American kids need to see African Americans playing, and it's we need to see ourselves in that, and that to me is one of the most important things about what you guys are doing. We can talk about, and we will talk a little bit about how you're doing it, right? What are the nuts and bolts, and how are you putting it together? But it's also, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that what you're doing now in the 21st century is not unlike what Lefty experienced and her friends experienced in the mid 1940s, and seeing it, and so we're, personally, for me, because I am connected to Lefty, this is an extremely important thing that you guys are doing. And I just, I love it that you go back to that history to give you that kind of, give you some encouragement.
Exactly. It's like I say, you learn from the past.
Right.
You learn a lot. I'm
Hopefully
one of those,
you do.
kind of person. I'd rather go back and see what I can do better.
Yeah.
What I can improve on
Right.
that didn't happen back then. So, with Manuel, I told him this is great. We want to look ahead. We don't want to be stuck. Maribel, what she's doing here in the States, promoting, going up. I just saw the Drew Barrymore show with.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Just a little nod. So, tomorrow morning, she and I both are going to be on the Today Show.
Oh, wow.
About 9:15. So,
okay.
she's really, she's 94, right?
Exactly. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's 94. Manuel, when you see her, you're not going to believe it. I mean, she is really dedicated to making this happen. And when I say this, I mean the IWBC putting a museum and a Hall of Fame together, but also this, meaning what you guys are doing. It's using her life, her experience to say to your girls, look, you know, you can do this too, and we want to help you.
Exactly. I was actually I was one day crazy daydreaming when I saw her one of the first time on TV, which was the on MLB Network.
Right. Yep.
And I was just standing there, and I just got some like illusions.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I could just imagine, right? A women's Hall of Fame in general, and you imagine. I just start saying, "Wow, Manuel, myself, Jose, some of our girls can actually be elected to that."
Yeah.
And I was
you know what? You know what,
like,
Luis? We're building that. We're building that in Rockford, Illinois, right? I mean, we're not physically building it right this second, but that is what we're working toward, because women do not have a home in baseball. We do not have a physical home. And we were very careful to name ourselves the International Women's Baseball Center, because women did not start playing baseball in 1943 with the All-American Girls, and they didn't stop in 1954 when that league ended. In fact, Latin America has one of the longest, most illustrious histories in all of baseball. And certainly women have been part of that. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as the IWBC is concerned, what we're building in Rockford is a home for all of girls and women in baseball, including and especially you two.
Thank you.
That's where you dream big,
Yeah.
It just came to my mind. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yep.
Like I said, I get frustrated with my team.
Oh, yeah,
and then
I understand, believe me.
I want to throw the towel, but then I say to myself, well, you know what, if I throw the towel, then what did I do? I mean, I just built stuff, and that's it. I let it go. But seeing Dominican Republic with Manuel, seeing some of the girls that how on WhatsApp, how they're so enthusiastic to play and to be out there. I'm like, this is really great. The opportunities. J2W Recruiting, which recruited Kisbel Vizcaya, she's actually here. She's from Venezuela. She's a bronze medal in the World Baseball for women's in Viera, Florida.
Right.
That was in 2018.
2018, right?
Yeah. The World Cup, the Women's World Cup.
The Women's World Cup, the first one ever held in the United States, by the way. And the IWBC was a sponsor. There you go.
I have my own baseball from the Dominican Republic signed by all the girls.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
But
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
but I was down there.
I think you recognize this, right?
Yes. Yes, indeed. I do recognize it.
I can have you here, Las tengo a todas, como decimos en español. We all have you all here.
So tell me, guys, getting providing an opportunity for girls and women to be involved in baseball, and I say it that way because it's not just about making them players, right? I mean, girls and women could be umpires. They can be owners of teams and coaches and things like that. So having an opportunity for girls who are interested in the game, there are challenges. We know there are challenges, believe me. But what are some specific challenges that you guys experience in the Dominican and then Nicaragua? In what are some specific things that you're running up against? Manuel, what do you think?
Well, in the Dominican Republic is encourage the fathers and their mothers to let them play.
Yeah.
They always think about women baseball as a joke here. And they say, okay, women can play softball. And I always tell the fathers and the mothers, and hey, they can play softball, but that won't going to get them anywhere. Just playing softball one day a week and have some fun after the game and go back home. What we're trying to do is make a program so they can understand this is. I can use Luis Lopez nickname, like this is more than a family, but this is more than a work. What I'm trying to do here is making sure they can learn how to play baseball. They can learn the fundamentals, because in the future they can be coaches, managers, and you said it. They can be owners. Right. They can be owners. Right. Umpires. And me as a president of the baseball association of my city or my state, I'm building up a program so anyone, even girls and men, can make a course about umpire, scorekeeping, and even get to know the baseball work side of it, the administration side of it. We are working on that. We hopefully in August we are going to begin that, but we are waiting because of the pandemic. We want to make sure they can be in the same place, because teaching how to be an umpire is so difficult to new ones, because you cannot teach him from Zoom. Or whatever. It's difficult. You have to go to the field. Yeah. You have to teach him in the field. You can teach him, you can teach everybody here the basics and the baseball rule. I can grab a book. If we for example, I can have my own rule book here. I can teach anyone. But the problem is, it's so different when you have to do in baseball, the umpire mechanics. Yeah. You have to teach the mechanics in the field. Four umpire mechanics, the 3 umpire mechanics, the 2 umpire mechanics. You have to do it on the field. So while we are waiting until the pandemic go a little bit softer here, so we can make a presence for all those all the women's, all the men's around around the stadium, and make that happen. We are working on that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, one of our board members is Perry Barber, who I don't know if you guys know Perry, but she's been an umpire now for over 35 years. And she is a very strong advocate of getting girls and women into umpiring, you know, and because we don't always think about that, right? We want to play. And yet there is no physical reason that girls and women can't umpire. There's no reason why that can't happen. And so one of our goals for our campus area that we're building is workshops in umpiring. And so Perry has done that around the country, actually, and around the world in different places. She has done that before. So, you know, I would love it if at some point we could do some sort of joint, we could get Perry to
the Dominican Republic. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
any place
in
the Caribbean, any place in the Caribbean that you want to visit to work on the women's baseball, the door is open.
I love it. I would love to do that, Manuel. And the thing is, I'm wondering, do you, and you'll have to excuse me because I'm a history professor, right? So, but do you guys also spend some time talking to the girls about the history of baseball and the history of baseball, not in your country, obviously, first and foremost, but then in general, and the roles of women historically?
Grace?
Well, with my girls, I actually do give them a little reference, which is the movie A League of Their Own, which is probably one of the most, easy way for them to actually get them to understand where it came a little popular. You know what I mean? Then they know Maribel. They know her because of me. No, right. It comes through that, like I said, with the 1947 tour, and I explained to them, like, this is, if it was kind of big back then,
sure,
we can make it bigger now.
Yeah.
We have, we have the World Cup, Women's World Cup baseball, right? Going big, We got more countries participating. France, the Philippines are new. Mexico just went to the World Cup. So those are, those are objectives that we, as involved, that we're involved in this women's, because it's worldwide, and we're part of it.
Yeah.
As much Japan, USA, Dominican Republic, Nicaragua.
Right.
We're the ones that actually stepped ahead. Like example with me and Nicaragua, I stepped ahead and I said, no, I got to do this.
Right.
They say people are chosen to do this kind of work.
Yeah.
Some people will do it because they think they can get money off of it, and it's not gonna happen. I hate to bust the bubble.
Yeah.
I hate to bust the bubble. You're gonna spend. So I hate to bust the bubble.
Right. But
it gives opportunities, like Manuel was saying, and here we go again. With the recruiting. Like I mentioned earlier, with the Vizcaya, Kisbel Vizcaya. She's here. She's playing softball. She's SEC Blackhawk, Ohio. Yep. It's great. She's doing great. Those are the opportunities that you want to develop as a player, so that you can show other, that you can do it. Right. Even baseball, it's a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, you gotta have the hunger for you to actually wake up every day.
Right.
Go to school, you go to work.
Yeah.
You gotta make that little sacrifice of maybe half an hour from your life, and dedicate to what you want to do, and where do you see yourself, your name, in this women's baseball?
Right.
There's people that take it as a hobby. There's some people that just say, "Oh, I just want to go play because softball, have softball."
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not everyone is as absolutely consumed as we are. So tell me, Manuel, what's next, right? I mean, I know we're kind of on hold because of the pandemic, but what's the next step for you guys to sort of catch up with where Luis is?
Well, in the Dominican Republic, what we're trying to do is make sure they can learn. That's the basic. From the future, working on the future, that's going to be huge. Because two things. First, what I told my girls, that in the future, we're going to travel to play in Nicaragua. That's something that we have to do. We have to do it. That's something that's in our mind. That's Luis' mind, that's my mind. We have to work to make sure these two teams can meet in a baseball.
Right.
They can play, but they can know each other, their culture, where they came from. Not only me going to Nicaragua can come here too, just to play, just to see. If we can exchange girls between leagues in the same year, we're going to do that.
Right.
Because we are going to help them to make sure they can learn more about the game, and they can go back home and teach what they learned.
Right. Right. And pass that on to the next group of girls.
Sure. Yeah. But what I said, this is going to be huge, is because me, as the secretary of the Caribbean Confederation, the pandemic just stopped our Women's Baseball Cup, or Women's Caribbean Cup. That was for last year in 2020. So what we're trying to do is make sure every country can participate this year, even on November or December.
Oh, yeah.
We are trying to work on that. You see, right now we have the third Caribbean Men's World Cup, or Caribbean Cup, in Curacao, and just waiting for the pandemic to go a little bit more slower. I can say that the game will be starting May 8th until the 15th of May, from 8th to the 15th of May. That will be in Curacao this year. But the women's, we are trying to bring them here to the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Yeah. We try to build it here so they can come here in December and make sure we have them playing. And after the games, go see the men's winter ball. So they can maintain baseball. They can see baseball all day long. So they can find a place to not only learn how to play ball against their women or against the girls, but they can go and see the men, the high league here, and see those MLB players that are already playing in the Dominican Republic. So we are trying to build that program around, and hopefully Nicaragua can come as a national team or has invitee. So we can invite them to the league. So we're working on it. We have the meeting, the executive meeting from the Caribbean Confederation, Curacao. So we are working on it.
Good. Let me ask a question or two, just so that I'm clear and that our listeners are clear. So the Women's Baseball World Cup, you're trying to bring to Dominican Republic?
No, what we're trying to bring here to the Dominican Republic is a Caribbean Girls Cup.
Got it. Okay. Is that something that you guys have done in the past, or would this be the first?
This will be the first one.
Well, let me say to you right now, and in full public mode, the IWBC would like very much to help with that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how exactly, but if you would include us or include me, we can do some emailing. But and I won't go into that on this podcast. But I think that is the kind of thing that we all need to work together on, because having that in the Dominican, and then having your girls see that and the Nicaraguan girls see that, that's amazing.
That's what we're trying to build up between the Caribbean Cup, just for men and for women. So we are working on it, and we are trying to make that happen to the end of this year.
That's fantastic. So, Luis, are you? What role then are you guys playing in this endeavor with the Caribbean Girls Cup?
That was for me?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, man.
We've got a little bit of delay.
A little bit. So I was like,
yeah. No, I just wanted to know what your team is and what you guys are doing in terms of working together to get this on the road.
Well, me and like I said earlier, me and Manuel been talking a lot for the past. They say we're going for 5 years now, and I've been with the whole baseball thing, women's baseball, 2013, going on my 8th year now. And when like I said, when I met Manuel and he saw the progress, and now he told me his plans back in the days, back in 2016, 17. So now we're reliving now, and with that Caribbean Cup, and having probably Nicaragua, my team or whatever team to represent, it's great. It's another step, and it's and with coming up with the IWBC, and women's in the weekend in women, which I always love. I love Women's Week. I'm a huge fan of that, and I brought Manuel to that. I'm like, you know what? Let's get a little bit more into Women in Baseball Week, and come join.
I love
that.
I love it.
Yes.
Make it bigger. That's
fantastic.
And the Dominican Republic. This is going to be my third year with Women in Baseball Week, which I'm always enthusiastic about it. Yeah, see the girls put out their little, put their photo. Let the world see that.
Right.
That it's going worldwide. Yeah,
it's about it's about publicity and getting the word out. And so you guys being involved in Women in Baseball Week in July is fantastic because, and this has grown every single year. It gets bigger, and it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic. Well, and Manuel and Luis both, please, let's communicate about this because I would like that very much. I think Jose is trying again. Can you hear us, Jose?
¿Me escucha, don José?
¿Me escuchan?
Yeah.
There we go.
Now we can hear you.
Now we can hear you. Welcome, Jose.
How are you?
It's good to meet you. We've been talking to these two guys about their work in getting girls and women on the baseball field, and they're doing some amazing things. I'm sorry that we didn't have you early on, but we're glad you're here now.
Thank you. I have a little problem to get in, but I'm here. Thank
Good.
you guys for inviting me to the conversation.
Well, thank you so much. Obviously we're talking about their interest in, and then their work in getting girls and women on the field, and both of them have talked a lot about your role in baseball and in the Dominican Republic and beyond, obviously, including your offspring. I just thought that if you can hear us and you've got a good enough connection, if you could just talk to us a little bit, and this is the way I started with these guys, talk to us a little bit about how you got into women's baseball. Why women's baseball?
Well, always I like to see women doing something, something different, like, sport. And I remember that I had my sister. He plays softball too, a long time ago. And every time I go see the game. So I just started that I know a woman can do a sport. I know a woman can do a sport. And then I had an opportunity to be involved with a woman baseball because the federation here called me one day and they said, would you want to be part of the team? I mean, you want to be a manager, you want to be a coach, you want to be do something with a woman. I said, let me be the manager. Let me be the manager. So I just started, start working with women, and I love it because women can do a lot of things that people don't know. In Dominican, doing clean the dish, cooking, if it's like I said, if you have a kid in the house and you have a girl in the house too, what you do? What's his father do? Take the kid always out trying to do a sport, and tell the girl to stay home and do the work, homework. So that's the moment I start doing, working with women. And I'm very, very happy to do that.
Well, we are very appreciative. We are very appreciative of you doing that, of all three of you. And I know that Kate probably has some questions, or may have some questions. So we got some questions from listeners. Kate, if you have a few, I know that Luis has on a time schedule and we don't want to keep you guys too long, but if you've got some questions, Kate?
Yeah, I've just got one, and I think that Manuel kind of touched on it a little bit, but if we could go into more detail, it'd be awesome. So Luis, in his last conversation with the IWBC, mentioned that culturally, it's extremely hard to sell women's baseball in Latin American countries. Have you worked with or considered working with men's baseball to better promote women in the game?
Well, women and men's are different. You know, I working with the kid that's 13, 14 years old. And when I'm working with a kid, I had to talk too much. I had to do, I had to do it almost every time. I got to teach him how to catch a ball. I got to teach him how to throw the ball. Woman, I don't know, woman's very, very intelligent. You know, you can tell. One time, he's trying to do it. He's going to say prefer to work with women, but for me, it's the same. I mean, it can work because I love that. You know, I love baseball, and I love to teach playing baseball.
Right. Yeah. So what's it like, Manuel? I mean, what do you get much support from any of the men's teams, or even just people involved with men's baseball?
Well, the difference here, what I have here in my city is that I have two teams with the same basics, with the same program. What I'm going to do with the girls is the same what I do with the men's. Even the names of the teams are almost the same. You see, we have the Reales from Puerto Plata, but we have the Monarchs. If you can understand why I have such a page in my bag, you know, it's because of the Monarchs, right? And all the history that came up with that. And we live in a city that we love history. So what I try to do with my boys, they are like under 25 players. I take a few players to come and work with me to teach the girls on the field. I have a catcher, I have a pitcher, even I have an outfielder and an infielder. So I told them that I need their job, their time on Saturdays to work with the girls. That's we are mixing up everything. I have the support of the guys, and I tell you have to support me because those girls, when you're going to be playing, they'll be watching you. And they will be supporting you.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I have those two teams, and I always tell the both sides of the men and the girls, we need to be a family. No matter if you're a man or a woman. We are one basic team with two projects. That's what we do here in Puerto Plata.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Kate, do you have any other questions that people have sent in?
I do not, actually.
Okay. So let me ask you guys then before we call it a night, because I know we're running out of time. So what can we in the U.S. And those of us that are working in the efforts to get girls and women access to the game of baseball, what can we do to help you? You know, we're all, as you said, Manuel, we're all in this together, right? So what are some things that you'd like to tell our listeners that might help you guys?
Jose, can you begin?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sure. The thing is, keep working, keep pushing. The girls need to learn where they came from, why there is a baseball, why there is a women's baseball, and like Luis said, why we have women baseball back in the 40s. They have to know their history. But in the playing field, in the playing times, we have to make sure Latin America can put not only a Pan American game, not only a World Cup game, but you have a women's and baseball week, right?
Right.
You can make like he said, an event. So they can go to play, no matter if there is in the US, or you can come here and organize it here in the Dominican Republic, or we can go to Nicaragua. You are international.
Right.
You can go any place.
That's right.
You don't have borders.
That's right. That's exactly right. Nor do we want any.
No, you don't have borders. So
no,
that will be huge to send a message to all Latin American girls players.
Right.
You want to help? They want to learn.
That's great.
You can come.
Yeah, let me say something about it too, because we are, woman. He always liked to play baseball. I mean, we had to. In the beginning, they don't believe the woman can play baseball. We had to. I mean, in my case, I had to talk to them before I had the team. I had to talk to them every day. Bring it to the field. Bring it to the field every day. Show them a lot of videos, with a different country where they play baseball, because they don't believe that we can, they can do a lot of things playing baseball. Right. I mean, they don't believe they can go to, they're going to have a league in here in Dominican. They don't believe they can go play international tournament or whatever. So what we do here is is practicing every day and doing things with that girl, because also father don't want to leave. I mean, don't want to have any daughter playing baseball, because they said, why they playing baseball? For nothing. I mean,
yeah.
You got him. I mean, why had to be on the field and play baseball? For nothing. I mean, we have a lot of work, we have to do a lot of work then to bring it to the field, and they believe that. And then we have league, and I look and internet and show them how many teams they have in Japan. How many teams they have in Japan? I think it's 80-something team in Japan.
Something
have,
like that,
like 40-something in Puerto Rico. I mean, I think they're the only country that have a couple teams, like, not too many, as Dominican and I think in Nicaragua right now. So I think we do a lot of good work with them, with our girl, because
that's great.
Right now they starting to know that we can, they can play, they can do a lot of things, they can go out of the country and play. I think we do a lot, a good work. Right. I mean, we do a good job too.
Yeah. Wow, you guys are just fantastic. I mean, I so admire someone who says, like Luis, in early on, I'm going to do this, and people told me I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do, and it's a good thing to do, and you, all three of you, are doing that, and our mission at the IWBC is to educate, to preserve and protect the long history of girls and women in baseball, but also to use that history to encourage and create opportunities. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. And I hope that this is the beginning of a very strong partnership between us, because I admire you guys completely. And I know that I can tell, even just through Zoom, once you set your mind to it, you guys are going to get this done. So we are out of time, unfortunately. And I would love to, maybe we do this again in a few months and see where you guys are, just do a kind of an update and see where you guys are with things.
Are you interested in keeping up with our panelists? Follow Louise's team on social media at Managua Reales on Twitter, at Reales de Managua on Instagram, or find them on Facebook at Página Oficial Reales de Managua. If you want to reach out to Luis directly, you can also email him at luislopezmatas@gmail.com. You can keep up with Manuel on Twitter and Instagram at Manuel Frias 15, or contact him through secretariocaccabe@gmail.com. To stay up to date on Manuel's efforts and Jose's coaching, try to support Coccabe and the Dominican Republic's women's national team. While you're at it, you can keep up with the IWBC at IWBC4Me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're interested in becoming a member or are interested in making a donation to support our continued work, please visit our website at internationalwomensbaseballcenter.org. If you liked our episode and are curious about other digital content, don't forget to like and subscribe to IWBC Archive on YouTube. Thank you again for joining us for Step Up to the Sport, and thank you again to Kat Williams and our panelists. Keep an eye out for new and upcoming content, and don't forget to step up to the sport.